Welcome to Not My Shop, and we're here again under the Insight. This is becoming a bit of a habit, and we're putting on performance parts. So when you think about a race car, what do you think of? You think of, lots of power, fast, handles good. I don't have any of that, but what I can have is a flat bottom. Unfortunately, all the undertrays are missing on this car. Fortunately, there is a member of the Insight community, Scott, who goes by Killer 3-Cylinder on the Insight forums, who makes these little guys. This is an all-aluminum undertray for the first-gen Honda Insight. These are pretty reasonably priced and very well made, and you can also get this mounting hardware kit, which I need in my case because all my factory stuff is missing. So that goes between the front bumper here all the way back to this attach point here. And yeah, I'm apparently also missing all my fender liner wheel well stuff, so I'll have to find those from somebody. And there's also some pieces here that I'm missing as well. It's about $200 for those pieces, which is super frustrating. But hey, at least we can get the main piece under here, and this car will hopefully be a bit slicker going through the air. You can actually see the remnants of where my factory under panel was attached. It's kind of a hybrid thing that's part plastic and part aluminum. And you can see where this brace took a huge hit somewhere, which somewhat unsettlingly is right where the high voltage lines are. So something punched right next to where all the high voltage hybrid stuff goes, right there. So that's a whole lot of fun, a whole barrel of fun, you would say. So let's get a 10 and get to work, I suppose. I guess I gotta figure out how this goes up here. I think that's the front and that's the rear. Oh, that's nice. This is slotted, so you can just put the bolts in halfway and it'll kind of hang there. That's nice. Well, that could have been easier to install, but it might not be fully representative of how this is supposed to be installed because, well, not having the fender liners has kind of led to a few issues in my case. This entire side flops around real bad, so I added a zip tie and now it doesn't flop. But I really need to get these missing pieces because having underbody aero is pretty critical on these cars because the aero makes such a difference with how, like, marginal everything is. Like, it barely has enough power to do highway speed, and it definitely doesn't if you don't have everything. I mean, look at the lower part of the front bumper. It comes up, it's guiding air onto the underbody of the car. It is insane. And these pieces that are missing here actually have kind of an aerofoil shape to them as well. They're not just plastic, they're this molded rubber thing. Man, all these mounting tabs are just broken. Ugh, that sucks. Over here we did get one bolt in to what's left of that panel, so I guess there's that. I think you can actually still get these pieces from Honda. They're about $60 a side, which is a lot of money, but at least you can get them. I'm not sure if you can still get the fender liner piece or this piece, so I'll have to do some research. We did get that bolted up at least, so this side isn't super floppy, but apparently having underbody aero is good for a solid 10 miles a gallon on the highway. And I assume that it struggles a little bit less to do highway speeds when it has all that as well. So it would be pretty nice to be able to do 80 miles an hour and have the AC on at the same time, which is currently something that I can't do. I don't know, Jay's car's a little nicer, so hopefully we'll see what this is actually supposed to look like when we put that one on. But before I take this thing out of the air conditioning, there is one more thing that I have to install because we're really going to make this thing a race car. This is a WR Racing short shifter for, I believe, an Acura Integra. And I am very curious to see how this works because this thing could not be simple. Here's what you get in the box. A little chunk of aluminum, a bolt, and a tiny hex key. Ah, looks like it's got a little locking thing. Yeah, that's it. That's the short shifter. Now, since this is a cable-driven car, I assume the way this works is by moving the pivot point, or by moving the lever that the cable for forward back motion attaches to. And what that should do is affect the throw for front to back without affecting the throw for side to side, which I like a lot. Most cars that have a directed transmission or a linkage-based shifter, the short shifter just changes all of the throws. And the problem that you have then is going from second to third, it's really easy to go back to first, or going from third to fourth, it's easy to go back to second because the gates are now so narrow and close to each other. This just means that I won't have to lean my torso forward a little bit to get in the fifth. It's a small thing, but this was also very cheap, so let's see if it's any good. I've never done this before, so I'm making some assumptions on how exactly we get to all this stuff. I believe step one is going to be taking off the shift knob. Oh yeah, I suppose I should show the throw length. It's that. It's quite a bit. Apparently if you go get like a late 90s Honda Civic center console from the junkyard, it bolts right in here and gives you an armrest. I'm very tempted. Pulled it.
Pulled the whole thing?
Yeah. There we go. That's not how you're supposed to do that, but it works. That'll be the title of like my autobiography, I swear. So this will go on here, presumably. I think I take this off and then bolt the short shifter thing.
I'm never getting into gear again.
That's it, we've just doomed this car. Oh geez. Oh, there's grease on absolutely everything. Okay, so then this, oh I see. Oh, that's kind of nice actually. So then this goes there, and then we tighten this down. And then there's the little grub screw on the back that we use, that adorable little Allen key. This was like $8 on eBay, by the way.
The short shift?
Yeah.
Huh.
Why does this come with a nut? Oh, okay, I know what I'm seeing here. So there's differences between the RSX or Integra and this, and that's why I'm confused. Also just because I'm confused in general. Yeah, I kind of hate how this runs into the bracket here. Okay, before I show you guys what I did here, and you can blow me up in the comments, look at these throws now. Crispy. Okay, now for the pain. I ran my camera right into the shift lever is what I did. I just ran the nut on here backwards, which it was, the head of the bolt was running into this little sheet metal piece here, and it wasn't letting it tighten down all the way on the bushing. So I threaded the nut all the way on here onto this excessively long bolt that came with it, and just ran it through. Tightened down nice. Still plenty of, freedom of movement. It's great. I think that is a solid solution, and I think I'll put some blue Loctite on this when I get home, and we'll be good to go. I was not able to reuse this washer. The ID is too small. I think those are just some concessions that have to be made since this is made for a late 90s Integra, but wowza. Let's get the center console back on, and I'm very, very excited to feel this and drive it, and And for those of you not familiar with the Honda Insight, this is where the OBD2 port is on these. Facing forward in the passenger footwell, hollering from the passenger side of its best friend's ride. Plug my lightning cable back in. I really like this this mounting for a phone mount. Keeps it out of the direct sunlight so the phone doesn't overheat, and cops can't tell when you're looking at it. Maybe I shouldn't put that in the video. Piece to resistance though.
GT4 has really neat magnet foam mount on it, but
something I've been tempted to do is when I take the dash apart again to fix the gauge cluster, is like super glue some magnets behind some part of this, so I can have like the magnetic phone mount but literally completely hidden. Like the phone just sticks to some spot on the dash.
yeah.
I just don't know where that would be.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. Kind of got to feel it back to back with your stock one to really get an idea, but for like $11 on eBay, I'm pleased. And of course, there'll be a link down in the description to the eBay listing if it still exists. If not, I mean, it's a late 90s, early 2000s Integra short shifter. They're everywhere from all sorts of companies, and they look basically like that. Okay, Jay's car's turn on the chopping block. Yeah. This is more like what you're typically replacing. I mean, you've got all your fender well plastics and those molded rubbery things that I was talking about. Really weird looking. But yeah, there's actually another piece of this that's missing, I believe, that goes to here. But yeah, it hasn't been smashed up. So all of this is going to be replaced by that nice aluminum panel. This car is going to kill me in fuel economy when this is done because, well, it already gets pretty close to mine just because the engine's a lot healthier and lower miles. Oh yeah, it's kind of falling off there, but yeah, that's going to be sweet. So let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, wow, the rear motor mount is good. This has all of its cats and stuff. You can see that's also leaking AC on me. It's very dry under here, which is cool. Typically, that's what you want. This all looks... Oh man, even these control arm bushings look way better than mine. These look like new. End links are all good. No rust on any of the fuel lines or anything. Exhaust is good. All these under panels are in good shape. Look at the rear. These shocks are completely blown. If you remember when we went and got this from Colorado, this thing launches you into the air over bumps. You can see how it leaked out a long time ago and it's just crusted on there, which happens, but replacements are not cheap at all. They're like $300 for the set of two. But man, this thing is in really good shape. I still love, yeah, I love your, that's a weapon.
Yeah, it was dragging on the road. I thought that it was something like a rock and a caliper. I was scraping on a disc. So I actually put it up on the lift and realized what happened. So I just tied it all up in place.
You've got kind of the ideal situation here because your fuel economy is going to go through the roof with this.
We don't know that yet. It still has no hybrid.
Well, a lot of people run these without the hybrid system because it gets better fuel economy that way. Oh, apparently you don't use the P-clips there. You use these, the push pins.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, where do all the P-clips go then? Are they replacements for these, I wonder? Oh, yeah, so I guess the mounting hardware just replaces your existing mounting hardware, assuming that it's all missing. I like how these little attach points are actually replaceable. They're like screwed into the core support because that's something you might need to change. Also interesting, this little bit of like mass dampening.
I guess we can use the push pins to grab.
Yeah. Okay, here's and push pins. And here's push pins the second. I do wonder if it's supposed to go under that,
Yeah, let's try that on this one.
Hey! Yeah.
Good enough.
Just like that. Yep. That is very, very smooth. Well, it's the night before I released this video and I just realized that I never actually finished it. So I'm sure you're all dying to know if the Undertray actually made a difference to the fuel economy, and unfortunately, the answer will disappoint you because the answer is I have absolutely no idea. The car immediately started having another issue that is negatively affecting the fuel economy, so results inconclusive, though subjectively it does seem to be a little slipperier. On the highway, it just doesn't seem to have to work quite as hard to keep up highway speed. So yeah, we'll go with that, and I'm gonna continue to have a nice drink from this microphone here. Thanks for watching.